Morning, guys. Hope you guys are all having a great Thursday. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get started. Make sure that you guys can see that okay. Awesome. All right. So I'm pulled up my phone here too, so I can see if you guys have any questions as well. Okay, we're good to go. All right, guys. So my name is Ben. For those that don't know, I'm a physical therapist with Pro+Kinetix Physical Therapy and Performance. We practice out of True here. And today we're going to be going over a mobility routine that you guys can also do on your own. And I'm going to kind of coach you through why we're doing these movements and how to do them. And then if you guys want a copy of this mobility routine without having to watch this on replay, just put your email in the comments, or you can also private message me, and I'm happy to send that out to you as well, with like how many reps and how many sets and like video instructions on how to do it properly as well. So I know a lot of you are probably working from home, and the way that you may have your makeshift desk setup can be causing some issues, especially with the low back, shoulders, and kind of neck tightness as well. So we're going to kind of put a focus on that today, and then kind of hit a few other different areas as well. So I'm gonna assume that all of you guys have a foam roller. If you don't, that's totally okay and not a big issue at all. I'm also gonna go over modifications on how you can do these without a foam roller. All right, so when we are sitting for long periods of time and we may have like slouched over like this and our upper back's kind of rounded, we lose mobility in the thoracic spine. Okay, that's the mid back. So we're gonna work on loosening that up a little bit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go on all fours like this, all right? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our hand, and make sure that you got your foam roller right next to you. Okay, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your hand, okay, palm up, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna reach through as far as you can. Okay, and then back forward. Make sure when you get back to the starting position, your shoulders are squared up, and then we're rotating and back up. And we're just going to do a few repetitions here. Okay, make sure to keep this stabilizing arm locked out and straight. We don't want to be like bending too much. Okay, and then we're just rotating. You may also feel a little bit of a stretch in your low back. That's okay. And we're going to do ideally about 10 to 15 repetitions of this. And make sure your head is following as well. The good thing is it also is going to help bulletproof that left or that stabilizing shoulder as well. So we're rotating on that shoulder capsule. It's going to help with stabilization there. Let's do two more and then we'll switch. You guys can also do this even if you don't have a foam roller. You can just do it like sliding on the floor. Okay. This just makes it a little bit more smooth. And again, if you guys have any questions or concerns while we're doing this, just go in the comment section and I'll be able to see it because I got my phone here. All right. No questions, a dumb question. I'm here to help. And these don't even have to be questions with regards to mobility either. If you're dealing with with an injury or you're having some pain that's popped up or pain that you've been dealing with for years, those questions aren't off the table either. I'm here to help. All right. Okay. So now our right arm is stabilizing, our right hand's down, and then we're reaching through. Yeah, I'll show you what this looks like if you don't have a foam roller. Okay. So you're just reaching through like this. Yeah, let's do about 5 more here. Good. All right. Now we're going to take this foam roller. We're going to place it above our head here. All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to reach forward and bring our chest closer to the ground. Okay. Try and keep your thumb up. You can also rotate a little bit when you get towards the end and put your palm up. So you start with your thumb up 90 degrees, elbow 90 degrees, and then we're going up, rotating our palm up. We should feel a pretty good stretch kind of underneath our armpit or in our lat muscle. Okay. And we're just going to do repetitions here. And again, you can do this without a foam roller too. This exercise is great for anybody that may have some shoulder pain, especially with overhead activities. If that lat gets tight, it can hold down on that shoulder blade and it won't allow it to rotate up like it needs to. When we go into overhead activities, we can get some pain in the front of the shoulder and some shoulder impingement. If you guys are having any pain with any of these today, stop. Okay, none of this should be painful. If it is painful, there's an underlying issue that needs to be corrected. And just let me know about that. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the left arm. So now, right arm is down, thumb is up, and then we're reaching through. You guys can be watching out for any asymmetries. You guys may notice that one side is tighter than the other. If you don't like doing these oscillations, like 10 to 15 of them, you can do more sustained holds where you just hold for 30 seconds. This exercise is also great for getting the shoulder moving before you work out and kind of as a dynamic warm-up. Let's do about 3 more. Good. All right, and relax. Okay, so next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do some thoracic extensions over the foam roller. So this is gonna help mobilize that thoracic spine again. So the last one we did was gonna help with the rotation of the thoracic spine. Now we wanna get extension of it. So what I mean by that is when we are sitting for a long period of time and slouched over, our thoracic spine is in flexion, okay? It's like this, okay? We need to go move that in the opposite direction and go into extension to help restore that range of motion, all right? So what we're gonna do is lay on this foam roller, okay? And we're gonna have our hips down, feet flat on the floor, and what we're doing is we're putting our hands behind our back, and then this foam roller should be right below your shoulder blades to start. And then we're extending over the top and back forward. And extending up, good, and back. This should feel pretty darn good. And this is something that I do every day, not because I have shoulder issues or anything like that. It's just I want to make it stay that way, make sure it stays that way. So if I've been sitting for longer periods of time, I go ahead and do a couple repetitions of these. All right, let's do about 3 more here, and then we're going to move this foam roller a little bit. If you don't have this foam roller, what you can do is you can do it in sitting, okay, where you're sitting like this, and then you're extending over the top. Okay, you can also do this sitting in a chair. Okay, it's a great exercise to do when you're working, or if you've noticed that you've been sitting for about an hour at work, you can just kind of fold over the top of that or the back of the chair. Okay, now we're going to scoot our hips down and work our way up higher into the thoracic spine. So this should be kind of like right on top of the shoulder blade, okay, right in the middle. We're extending over the top. And then I make sure to always stabilize my neck and my head just so I can relax a little bit more. You guys may feel a few pops and cracks, and that's okay, as long as there's no pain. It's actually a good thing. This means we're mobilizing that spine. Let's do 3 more. Last one. Good. Now we're going to scoot our hips down just a tad bit more. Okay, and then we should be at the top of the shoulder blades. Now we're going to do the same exact thing. So a good general rule is you don't want the foam roller any lower than the bottom of your shoulder blade or any higher than the top of the shoulder blade. And if you do, you're not going to hurt yourself or anything. It's just now you're working into the low back and then also the neck area. And that's just not the area that we're trying to mobilize. We want to go up to that mid back. Good. All right, guys. We're going to give the thoracic spine a little bit of a break. So if you guys have any questions. Okay, awesome. All right, now we are going to go after the neck a little bit. Okay, what we're going to do is we are going to go after the lower trap, or sorry, the upper trap. That's a muscle that attaches to the base of the skull and comes down and attaches to the shoulder. So because it attaches to the shoulder, we want to pin that down. We don't want that to be raising up when we do this stretch. What we're going to do is we're going to take our left hand, we're going to place it behind our back to keep that shoulder pulled down. And then from there, what you're going to do is you're going to take your right hand and you're going to place it kind of like on the back of your head. And then what you're going to do is you're going to turn your head and pretend like you're going to like smell your armpit. Hope everybody's wearing deodorant this morning, right? And then we are going to, we don't want to be yanking down on our neck. Just use the weight of your arm, okay, to pull down closer to that armpit. And you should feel pretty good stretch here. Well, we got a few comments here. Let's see here. Oh, awesome. Okay, no questions. Go. All right, so we're just gonna hold this for about 30 seconds. And again, all these stretches and mobilize, like the stretches should be held for about 30 seconds. And ideally you do about 3 sets. But with regards to like time purposes today, we are just going to be doing 1 set. Okay, because I want to get you guys as much variety as you can. All right, now we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So you're gonna take your right arm, place it behind your back, and then we are going to do the exact same thing. So nose is going towards the armpit, and then we're just using the weight of our arm to pull that down. And after this one, we're going to give the upper body a break, and we're going to start putting a little bit more focus on the lower body, because that also gets tight from sitting too. And then also the low back. 10 more seconds. All right, and relax. Okay, so let's go up to the low back here. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into the all four position again. All right, so our low back, when people have low back pain, it's mainly because that low back wants movement. All right, and when we hold it in a sustained position for long periods of time, that's when it gets irritated and we can start having some pain. So we're going to focus on taking it through the extreme range of motion here, flexion and extension of that low back. So again, all four position here, and then what we're doing is we're trying to increase that arch in our low back as much as possible, and then we're going to try and also round that out as much as possible. Okay, and we're going to hold at each position. Okay, for about 2 to 3 seconds. And again, rounding out as much as we can, and then extensions. Okay, this exercise is great if you've been sitting for a long period of time too. You know, go nice, and if you start having some discomfort with this, stop right before that. Okay, you don't need to go into such extreme range of motion with this. And then just slowly ease your way into more and more extension and more of that flexion. Let's do about 3 more. And I'm also going to show you guys on how you can do this sitting as well. Okay, because I know it's not as convenient to have to try and get down on the floor when you're trying to work. So I'm going to show you guys how to also do this in sitting. So you guys can more easily take breaks and do this just sitting in your chair. Last one, flexion, and extension. Okay, all right, I'm gonna grab a box here so I can show you guys how to do this in sitting. All right, if you guys can see this here. So what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna pretend this is my chair. All right, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take our low back and do the exact same movement. Extension, and then flexion. Extension, and then flexion. Extension, and then flexion. Okay, and you guys can just do this like ideally once an hour. Okay, maybe a little bit more if some of you are already having low back pain or been experiencing it, it's been bothering you. You may have to do this a couple more times than just once an hour. But for most of you, this will be enough. Let's do 2 more here. Good. All right, any questions on that at all, guys? That one's super important. Okay, put that away. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go up to the hamstring muscle. Okay, muscle on the back side of the leg. So this is the stretch that I see done incorrectly the most. Okay, usually when people want to try and stretch the hamstring, I see them lock their knees out like this and try and touch their toes. All right. The issue with that is that sometimes we don't even actually get the opportunity to stretch the hamstring. We're actually stretching the nerve that runs down the back of the leg. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of sciatica. The sciatic nerve travels down the back of the leg all the way down to the foot into the toes. And sometimes that's going to restrict us, if it's tight, more so than even before we can even tap into the hamstring and start stretching that. All right, so how do we do that? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in a kneeling position. You can also do this in sitting. Actually, it'll probably be easier. I shouldn't put that box away. I'm gonna grab that box again. And so you guys can do this. I'm trying to make everything as easy as possible for you guys to be doing at work. So you guys don't have to take breaks to get on the floor and all that. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna sit in the chair, all right, at the very, very edge. And what you're gonna do is you're going to take your leg, okay, and we're gonna point it straight. Okay, it should be like a 5 to 10 degree angle. So you can see it's not like completely straight. I don't want this. I want like this. Okay, and from there, what we're gonna do is we're gonna hinge at our hips. Okay, and we're gonna keep our chest up. Okay, for those that do deadlifts or like or squats, we get that hip hinge. Okay, so what I mean by that is we want to be pivoting at the hips and not the low back. We don't want to be around at the low back. Okay, so we keep our chest up, our low back arch there, okay, and then we are going down here. Okay, and you should feel a pretty good stretch in that hamstring. Okay, and you can also try and touch. Okay, most of you should be able to just get a good stretch by hinging like this. Okay, so let's hold that for about 30 seconds. You can also do this in standing or half kneeling. We just want to make sure we get that hip hinge in and we have that knee slightly back. So when we bend that knee slightly, it takes the tension off that nerve. And then when we take tension off that nerve, now that's not going to limit our ability to target the hamstring. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and switch. Okay, same thing on the right leg. Okay, and then also make sure the toes are pointed down. Okay, foot is flat. So again, like I said, if because that nerve goes all the way down to the toes, if we lift that up, it's going to put it more on tension again. If we point our toe down and have it flat, it takes the tension off that even more. Okay, so again, knee slightly bent, foot flat, and then we're hinging. Okay, we don't want to be rounding at the low back. About 10 more seconds. And relax. Good. Okay, that one's a little bit more tricky. Let me know if you guys have questions about that one. Okay, so Now what we're gonna do is we are gonna go after a muscle on the inside of the leg, okay, it's called the adductor muscle. So what you're gonna do is you're going to be in a half kneeling position, okay, one knee down, then one leg out straight, foot pointing forward, okay, and then we are hinging and doing that hip hinge again, okay, sinking our hips down, okay, and shifting them back. We should feel a stretch on the inside of the right leg, okay, or the leg that's straight. You can also put your hands down on the mat here and then slowly shift your hips back and turn around so you guys can, or side view as well. Okay. So sinking down and sitting down like this. Okay, should feel a pretty good stretch in the inside of the leg. And then if you guys, any of you guys do have knee pain, what you can do for this knee that's down, you can put like a pillow underneath or a soft cushion or something just to offload that so we don't irritate that kneecap. If you do have knee pain, that's your body's way of telling you there's something not quite right with that knee, because we should be able to kneel down without any knee pain. A lot of times if you do have pain with kneeling down, it means that there's irritation underneath that kneecap. And you got to figure out, why is that kneecap getting so irritated? And a lot of times it can be due to tight quads or tight IT band or weakness in the hips and the feet. And it's a pretty easy fix too. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna switch and do the same thing on the other side. So right knee down, left leg out, foot pointing forward. And then again, we're sinking back here. You guys may notice that from side to side, there might be a difference. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. All right, now we're gonna go up to that low back a little bit again too. So that last exercise, the cat-cow one, okay, this is the cat-cow. We were extending and flexing. That's going into flexion and extension, okay? The spine also moves in rotation. So we wanna make sure we free that up as well. So what you're gonna do is lay on your back, okay? Feet flat on the floor, hips down, knees up, knees bent. This exercise is also great for anybody that wakes up with their low back feels kind of stiff in the morning, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna keep your arms by your side, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna keep your feet together, and then we're just gonna start with small oscillations where we're going left to right. Just start out with nice and small ones. Okay, we don't wanna be going all the way down to the floor quite yet. We wanna ease our way into that, okay? Make sure our shoulders are staying flat on the floor. And then we're gonna slowly work our way down further. And we wanna see if we can get our knees all the way to the floor. And you should feel a nice stretch in that low back area. Okay, and then to the right. Make sure we don't have our shoulders lift up. So watch what happens when if I go to the right, we don't want that left shoulder to rotate up, because then we take the tension off that low back and we don't get quite as much mobilization stretch. Make sure we keep that flat. One thing you can do too is you can put your arms out straight to help anchor the shoulders a little bit more, okay, and prevent them from coming up. Because now we're having the weight of the arm assisting with keeping that shoulder down. You can do about 10 to 15 each side. Like I said, this is a great exercise to do right when you wake up. You just roll over on your back and do a couple rotations and oscillations here. Let's do 3 more each side. And breathing out when you get the knees down close to the floor, it's going to help it even make it more intense. Good. All right, guys. So let's see. Perfect. Yeah, Jimmy, I'll go ahead and send that to your email. See that? Okay, perfect. All right, guys. So, any questions on any of those? All right, I'm all yours. Again, when you guys are doing these on your own, I ideally want to be doing 3 sets. We just did 1 set today for time purposes to get you guys as much variety as possible. If you do have pain with these, stop doing them and contact me so we can figure out what's going on and so we can help you out with that. Not seeing any other questions coming in. All right, guys. Yeah, if any questions do pop up about anything, you can private message me on Facebook. You can comment in here. We're also on Truth's website. And then my practice is called Pro+Kinetix Physical Therapy and Performance. We practice out of Truth. We are still doing telehealth and virtual consultations as well, if anybody's interested in that. And then because you guys came to the mobility class, we're offering a special for the rest of the week. It'll expire tomorrow, actually. With regards to, like I said, I know a lot of you guys are working from home right now and may have created some makeshift workstations or maybe even working through it from the couch and might have been noticing more shoulder pain, neck tightness, or low back pain. We're doing free ergonomic assessments, until Friday. So if you guys are interested in that, let us know, and we can hop on a virtual consult with that and start getting that ideal, proper ergonomic setup for you guys too. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Thursday and enjoy the rest of your week. And then also have a good weekend too. And then I will see you guys next week as well. Okay, all right, bye guys.